She's an award-winning YouTuber and best-selling author obsessed with helping you go after the life you want.
I like it.
Join her as she seeks out the stories and strategies
Give me every little detail.
of extraordinary people who found success.
I'm going to get emotional. Oh my God.
Welcome to Detail Therapy with Amy Landino.
Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Detailed Therapy. I've never meant it more than I mean it right now. Good morning, good life. It is a very special episode of this podcast because it is, if you're listening to this in real time, launch day for my new book, Good Morning, Good Life. So I just kind of wanted to do a relaxed chit chat with you today. For those of you who are new to the show, my name is Amy Landino and I will be your host. I'm a YouTube creator, podcaster, business coach, public speaker, and best-selling author 2 times now. I'm also a beagle mom and the sloppiest popcorn eater you've ever seen.
That's really accurate.
Yeah, I know. I'm here to help you go after the life that you want. You can find out more details about me by visiting youtube.com/AMYTV. And I'm here with my beautiful, gorgeous, brilliant, supportive, significant, super significant other, my husband, the one and only Vincenzo Landino, everybody.
My husband and I
are deeply touched by the welcome.
That's our terrible queen from The Crown.
To be fair, I only found out it was terrible by Chris Tucker. Shout out to Chris Tucker right out the gate. I know.
A true Brit.
Yes, but I do feel I've been working on that impression of the queen for so long that I really have it nailed.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said, I don't even know that it was appropriate to say. So unfortunately, but it was definitely not a British person that he thought I sounded like
a cat getting strangled or something like that.
It was way worse than that, but that's fine.
So yeah, I don't know.
Right. Well,
anyway,
how do you feel?
Happy to be here. I think
good.
I think it sounds great.
What sounds great?
Your voice,
my impression. Okay, I was going to talk about the book launch now, though. So, how are you feeling about the book launch?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I mean, I think this is a topic that you know a lot about.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. So far, so good.
I mean, I think that it's a topic that you actually are excited about. You know, it's something that you live every day. You do this. You wake up in the morning. Like, I think for
that's
me,
a fun topic, actually.
I get to actually see that you do.
Yeah.
People ask me, like, does your wife actually do all the things she says? I'm like, no, she really does. As much as I want to be like, oh, she doesn't. She does.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, let me ask you this. I'm really glad that you brought that up because I'm sure nobody's asked me to my face. No one's ever said that to my face. But I'm sure if they're going to say it to my face, they're going to go straight to you. Correct. So like, Vincenzo, does Amy really do that stuff in the morning? So I really appreciate you just being the testimonial of that.
Part of me wants to say no, that you don't do it. But you do faithfully.
So let's go with that. Why is it? Because if there's a question that I get, so what is Vincenzo's morning routine? What is it like living with the morning routine queen?
My morning routine consists of wake up whenever my body tells me to.
Or when your alarm clock wakes you up, which is who?
Which is rarely you.
Exactly.
And then I'll get up. I will go to the bathroom, have a pee, normal. Have a drink of water, usually a full glass of water. Lately, I've been trying some lemon like you do.
I know. Over the weekend, it was so cute. I usually only make my lemon water on the weekends if I'm really feeling dehydrated. I was sitting in my home office with a cup of coffee, which I go straight for on a Saturday morning. And Vincenzo brought me a lemon water. And I was like, I'm confused. What's going on? So apparently he's been dabbling in the lemon water and bringing me the other half of the lemon.
Do you want to hear the rest of my routine?
Yes. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So after the glass of water with the lemon, I have a cup of coffee, which we usually would do that together. And you're like on your 3rd cup of coffee by the time.
4th. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on my 1st because you've been up since like 4:30 with Lucy.
That's right.
And then
Oh, no. Lucy wakes up and I take her to the bathroom. She's not up with me. She gets up because I tell her to, and so that she'll go right back to sleep. So she's about at the same level of awake as you.
That's probably accurate, yeah. And then I'll jump on the Peloton bike of ours. I'll answer some emails while I'm doing that. And then I get ready for the day. Usually Blake picks me up.
Yes. Blake has been a godsend to our marriage and our work life because I basically stole the car from you when we started working out of this office.
People are listening to us. I don't know if they know, but we only have one car.
We are a one car family. And you've always taken the car to the office because I was always working out of the home office. Lucy would stay home with me.
Yep.
But now that I'm also coming to the office for at least 5 or so hours a day, I have to take Lucy to daycare during that time.
Yep.
So I've basically just taken over the car life.
Yeah, and that's cool because, I mean, Blake and I use that time to, we usually have our routine. We grab a cup of coffee in the morning, we chit-chat a little bit here and there, and then we get to the office and do our thing. But
oh, for people who don't know who Blake is, why don't you explain that too? Because that was sort of a random character introduction.
Blake is my partner over at Aftermark. He started with us, I don't know,
Started from the bottom.
Yeah, now he's here. Now he's here. Well, he was it's been 3 years, I think, which is kind of crazy.
No, that's
He started off
nuts.
we hired him just to shoot video, just to be a cinematographer, video guy, and he didn't like being a videographer, so we called him a cinematographer. And then he worked his way up, creative director, and now we kind of run things together with the business.
I know. Sometimes I'll pop in and be like, hey, what do you guys need?
So Blake moved from Nashville to Columbus. He ended up moving in right across the street from us, from our apartment, and just made things really easy to have one car because, I mean, the only place I went without you really was the office. So,
Yeah.
and I can walk or scooter everywhere else.
So have you had a chance to look at my book yet?
I have.
What do you think of it?
I love it.
Love it. Like how?
I think it is a manual for those that are looking to have different idea about their or have some sort of structure in their morning. And what I like about it in the beginning, you really mentioned how not everybody's morning has to be the same. Because, you and I have vastly different mornings, but it doesn't mean that my morning is any less of a routine. Just like, you have yours and somebody else may do whatever they do. It works for them. My morning is my morning because I go to bed later than you do by 3 to 4 hours. So naturally I can't wake up at 4 o'clock. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
And I like how that right from the beginning, right from the get-go, it's like non-morning people read this. So if you're reading the book or you're looking at the book and you're not a morning person, make sure you read the first couple pages because it's kind of like your direction to let you know that, hey, it's okay not to have this this perfectly structured morning. You have to do what works for you. And that's what I think a lot of people misunderstand about this whole productivity. Right now we're in this like productivity culture. Everybody is all about productivity and making the most of your days and your mornings and this and that. And it's really easy to knock those things, which I was reading an article the other day. I think it was like Variety or something, or not Variety. I don't know, some The Atlantic, one of those. And it was like totally knocking and bashing morning routine people. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you have some sort of routine. Whether your routine, you can choose to be wild and hectic and running through the door, which, you talk about all the time. And it's like, you could choose to have that type of morning, but then how does that set the stage for the rest of your day? And it's not about having your lemon water, your meditation. It's not necessarily that. It's more of starting your day off right, because that sets the the groundwork for the rest of your day. And I think that's really what the book helps you understand, is that it's all about changing your mindset, but also setting yourself up for success. Because too many times, we're so used to that run, go, wake up at the very last minute, maybe jump in the shower, maybe do your hair, maybe iron your clothes, not really know what clothes you want to wear. But like, how does that really set up the rest? How does that make you successful the rest of your day? If you're already getting to the office, sitting down just on time, and you're slamming back some coffee just to get yourself kind of awake, how are you supposed to be, successful? Or how are you supposed to perform at a high level? And I think that, those that want to read a book like this and take it to heart and use it are going to, have a much more, I'll say successful. I don't know what other word to use, but have a much more successful outlook on their days. And that's going to set them up for, better things.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That's a really good testimonial, babe. Thanks.
See, I read the book.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, by the way, like some people are super good under pressure, and I don't doubt that because that's me also. I can be really good under pressure.
Yes.
Sometimes, if something's like at the last moment or the last, it feels like this whole book, like a lot of things riding up to the last second, I can shine in those moments. But what I respect is that I don't want my whole day to be that way. Mm-hmm. And there are some people who would love to just bust out of bed, rush out the door, and do their thing. I'm just advocating for the fact that people can stop looking at the words productivity, as to your point,
sure,
and morning routines and compartmentalizing them as something that they cannot relate to or that aren't for everybody. No, just like you said, your routine is your routine. Your relationship with your cell phone, your relationship to other people, your relationship to the sun, your relationship to all these things are going to be different for every single person. And it's just, did you choose this? And that was one thing.
I don't want to cut you off. You made a really good point, right? It's choice. So the same people that complain about like having choices in life, it's my choice to do this, it's my choice to do that. Having a good morning is a choice. Don't you want it to be your choice to have the way your day starts, or do you want it to be, hampered by your cell phone ringing, emails coming through, social media, rushing, and not even be able to focus on yourself for 5 seconds in the day,
or to even have an original thought.
Right. And I think that's why a lot of people, they end their days, or they get home from work and it's like, I need to drink. I need to just crash. I can't think about anything else. I feel like I've done less of that since I focused a little bit more. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not looking at my phone in the morning, but at least starting the first, 15, 20 minutes of my morning without certain interruptions and just kind of like doing whatever it is I do has helped a lot, because at least I get to wake up on my terms. I get to start the day on my terms. And that's where I think people get things a little bit crazy. It's like, have a choice or don't. And then it's a domino effect throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year.
And something I just want to back up is that there's always this question of like, what's Vin's morning routine? And that's why I wanted to talk about this in the book.
Everyone.
I know.
Now they know.
Yes, they do. It's awesome. But the biggest thing is that there's not going to be a perfect situation. Like no matter how much I've designed my routine, no matter how much Vin's designed his, everything's always going to go a little awry sometimes. It could be a lot, it could be a little. And so the same goes for the fact that when you've been a good human, this is sort of my rationale in the book. When you've been a good human, you've surrounded yourself with other good humans. So you have this beautiful problem of having great people around you, including somebody maybe you've married or somebody that you gave birth to or whatever. You've got these other humans around you. You're not going to be the same humans. You just happen to live in the same space. And so I wanted to talk about that in the book so that people could see that we have had to work through what does it look like to have routines and be respectful of others and to each other, specifically on the front of like, oh, I want to go to bed now. And if you're a night owl and it just is against every bone in your body to be like ready for bed at 8:30, that's okay. And to respect that. And again, you've got to get your sleep. You've got to get enough sleep so that you can wake up the next morning, no matter when your morning routine starts. So I hope that, what did you think of that part of the book? Do you feel like I did it justice in terms of how we've had to balance the respect between each other and discovering what our morning routines were and how they're different?
Yeah, I mean, at first it kind of took me back, right? The way you described me in the book. I think it kind of like, I was like, oh, but it isn't, it was interesting because we had that, I guess seeing it written down was different than like the actual conversations that you and I have had. And so, having very different routines in general, and 34 years of having different routines. I think the biggest thing, and you put a stress on communication, which, it's kind of cliche for like, oh, marriage.
It's cliche,
communicate.
but it's been
But
our
it
breakthrough
works,
moment every time.
It's like, hey, let's just talk about, and I think what we talked about, this is what really was interesting. We communicated, but what we both communicated was what we needed and wanted. Right. And so it's not it's being selfish for a minute, but it's also, that's okay, because you needed and wanted time in the morning to read, to meditate, to have your lemon water, to start without, anybody bothering you. I wanted and needed to have my evenings where ideally, you're in bed, you're sleeping. I have my time to myself, whether I'm answering emails or whether I'm doing work or whether I'm just vegging out on a movie or maybe I'm reading a book. Like, I needed that time in the evening. So once we understood that, okay, this is what the other person needs, it is different than what I need, but that's okay, because it's going to make everything better. And when we realize that, okay, when I finally do wake up in the morning, we can spend a half an hour over a cup of coffee, chit-chatting about, life. We're not talking about work or anything like that. It makes it so much more enjoyable. And the same thing in the evening, we spend time, we have dinner together, or maybe we'll watch a movie or whatever show we're watching. And it's like we get to spend that time together, and it's not like we're resenting what the other person needs in that moment.
And P.S., we have it way easier than a lot of other married couples.
We don't have kids.
We don't have kids right now. We are together all day long a lot of the time. I will spend some time alone in the home office while you come to work in the morning, but in the afternoons we're here together. We travel together a lot. I mean, we actually have it pretty good when it comes to seeing enough of each other. Now, that being said, there's still a work-life balance issue at hand, because when you're working, but
we're always trying to find ways to continue to succeed. And, here's the thing, the mindset, we have to have those mindsets in order for us to be somewhat successful at all. We both have to have that mindset. So yeah, even though we may want, we kind of come to each other sometimes like, oh, we need to have this work-life balance. We can't always talk about work. I don't know. Most of the time for us, it's like, we don't even consider it work, because we truly enjoy what we're doing. And this is the life that we have gone after to set up for ourselves, individually of each other and together. And so sometimes it kind of all blends together, but we're good with that, right? Because sometimes we get outside forces that are like, oh, how, it sucks to work with your spouse, or it's, how can you be around each other all day long? And I'm like, well, that's cool, but we're good with that. And we communicate about it, and we know how to, delegate those times where we are together. We know how to spend those times not together. I mean, yes, we travel a lot together, but we also travel a lot apart.
Yeah, true.
And so for all the time that we do spend together during the day, there's also a lot of time we don't spend together at all. Whether it's me traveling back home to see my family and my dog, Khaleesi.
Shout out to the dog always.
Shout out to Khaleesi. Or whether it's traveling for work, for business, like there's a lot of time that we spend apart too. And so I think we do have that healthy balance, and it is. But yeah, like going back to the communication, coming full circle, it's because we can talk about it, and it's because we've been open about it. Understanding how we work together, but also understanding how we work, solo or like individually of each other. That helps, when we are together, it helps understand, a lot better.
Totally. And it's just a constant learning process. Every day is going to be a little different. Somebody's going to be less of a rise and shiner than the other one on other, and just balancing that and being able to work with each other's personalities. Speaking of which,
yep.
I published a video yesterday, the day before launch, about how stressed out I have been.
Oh, yes.
In this process. What has it been like for you to be in the same house as your stressed out author of a wife?
I mean, I love the way you kind of just like laid down on the floor in that video, and you were just like,
I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about a different one.
This
but
is
yeah, there were a lot of them.
There was one where you're just like, this is real me. And I was like, oh my God. All right. What's it like? I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it's been great to see you working through so many different things, working through having a team now, because you have people that work for you. There's a bigger team. There's people every day now that need you and that kind of need your attention, and it's not just me anymore, or it's not just like some remote folks, because you had remote people before, but now there's remote and there's some contractors, and we have 3 ladies that are in the office every day. And so seeing you handle that has been a learning experience, and you've handled it with grace most of the time. I feel like I've never written a book before, so I don't have that experience, that physical experience of writing the book. But this is the second book that I've been through with you and going through the process, and seeing you really own this one on your own completely. Like, the first book, you had someone kind of guide you through the process, which is fine. Like, you had never done it before, and now like watching you do it on your own is like really, really cool. It's added a lot of stress, which is, I think, to be just kind of normal, right? I mean, you're launching a book, you put a lot of effort into this, and so there's been those stresses, but I don't know. You still come home. We still spend time together. You still made it a point to do things together, go out to dinner once in a while.
I cook for you too. Don't be afraid to say it. I mean,
Cooking, yes.
Give me some credit. Come on.
Well, I'm giving you credit. So I think it's been a beautiful thing to watch you take this, which is a huge major step, but it's also a very big launch. It's like you're putting so much effort into this launch, all this knowledge that you've put into written form, which again is kind of weird, right? You're a YouTuber. It's like you don't write, that's not like your thing. You make videos. And so just seeing you being kind of, shift gears and make sure this is coming out the way you've wanted to, and delegating, which has been something that like you never had to delegate as much when we first met. Like, you weren't delegating. You got to do everything yourself. Now here you are, like, this person's doing this for you, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's like, it's really cool to see you delegate. It's really cool to see you allow others to help you. Yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. It's been fun to watch. It's been stressful at times. There's times where I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna say a word. I'm gonna put my headphones on, and
And I appreciate those moments.
And there's times where I'm like, hey, mame. Like,
Mom.
There's times like that too. So no, it's been fun. It's been a learning experience, and I can't wait for book 3.
Oh my gosh, I hate when people say that on lunch day. Last time it was, yeah, you have a book. When's your next one coming out? And now I'm like, oh my God, are you?
Well, I think that's a good thing. People, the expectation, like you've given people.
Well, read it first. I mean, you kind of have, but I don't mean you.
I think that yes, read it first, but people they know you, like they know what to expect from you because they've been watching you for X amount of time, and so they have an expectation, and it's not a bad one.
No, it's not too bad. Well, with all of that hot mess that you've been through, I want you to know how much I appreciate how much you've been there for me, because I know that I've been kind of in a tizzy at home sometimes, and at the office.
No, I mean, it is what it is.
But
we understand.
We're in the home stretch now, so I'm really pumped about that. Now I just get to talk about the book, which is my favorite thing.
This is the best part.
Yeah, it's definitely the best part.
Like, people are going to buy the book now, and people are going to share the book, and the cover's fantastic. I think it's a shareable cover. The words "Good morning, good life." I started tweeting it out every morning, like you did, kind of like to get ready for the launch, and people actually will send me notes and say that puts me in such a great mood when I see it in the morning on my Twitter feed before I read everything, and I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Guess I gotta keep doing it.
Yeah.
And so I do it every morning, and there's other people like, are you automating this? I'm like, nope. I physically tweet this every morning for you, for everyone to see and read. And, sometimes it gets a lot of engagement. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't care. People are reading it. Like, people have told me, like, I've gotten text messages and DMs and public replies of people that are like, this puts me in such a good mood every morning. So just for simple words that put you in a good mood in the morning. Imagine what actually having some sort of morning routine could do for you.
Definitely. And it doesn't have to be crazy. It just has to be yours. Speaking of which, is there anything that made you think about how you want to change your morning routine after you read the book?
Not really. I think my mornings they're in a good place right now. I think I'd like to get some more exercise in the morning, and just move more in the morning. And so the past few mornings I'm riding the bike and doing some email instead of just doing email while I'm like sitting on the couch having a cup of coffee or something, or sitting on at the table, just to get some more movement in. I think we take for granted how sedentary. No, we don't take it for granted. We don't realize how sedentary we are, because we don't have active jobs where we're out and running, or contractor who's like building stuff with our hands. We are seated a lot more than we want to be. So for me, I think the movement is key. We don't live in a sunshine filled area, so I'd love to get more sunshine, but that's not gonna happen right now. But no, I think my mornings are in a good place. I've got lots of energy throughout the day right now. Like that, I feel great. I feel like I spend some good quality time with you, even though it's short. It's a very few minutes sometimes, but I feel like our mornings have started pretty well. And I feel pretty. What's the word? I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but like I'm performing pretty well once I'm at the office. I'm getting things done. I'm pretty focused. So something's working.
Good.
Something's working.
Good. Glad to hear it.
But again, the book is not there to change your routine. It's just there to open your eyes to things maybe you can do better, like a little thing you can tweak here. If you're reading the book and you're like, oh, I have to do all of these things, I'm never going to do that. I mean, that's just a terrible mindset to put yourself into. The mindset to put yourself is actually, and when you read anything, not just this book, but any book or any blog article or whatever, is take pieces from it that you can actually like put into action. You can't put everything into action, and that's okay. But put the things that you can into action and run with that. And the things that you want to change, like work towards them.
Yeah, I actually would argue that this book is absolutely about changing a routine, but it doesn't necessarily, like you said, doesn't have to be this huge thing. And it comes down to finding what those obstacles are and how are you going to defy them. That's usually the biggest change in people's routine, because if you just cleared some of the negativity or cleared what is going to be negative in your space and how you might be able to prevent it or just sort of sidestep it, that usually makes a lot more space for the good. And you may not even have to add anything. You might just be subtracting. So it's definitely a routine changer, but it's all about who you are, what is right for you, and not a plethora of things you need to add on. It's just about finding really like what you're thinking. So
and you're not gonna. All these cliches, right? Like Rome wasn't built in a day. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. They're true for a reason, because you can't just wake up one day, and I'm guilty of this too all the time. Like, I'm going to change my diet. And it's like, okay, well, it's very difficult to just pick up one day cold turkey and do it. Most people are not built that way. And so if you can make small shifts, 2% shifts every day towards whatever your goal is, next thing you know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months later, you've completely changed your routine. But if you try to do it, a lot of people, crash dieting or whatever, they try to do things all in one shot. Well, you usually can't sustain it for more than a week or so, because you just, you're not laying down fundamentals. You're not really building on anything. You're just like, I'm going to run and do it. And oftentimes we don't do things right. So same thing with a morning routine. If you're just like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do this. I mean, that's good. If you can do that, go for it. I'm just not one of those people. For me, it's like, all right, I'm going to start with lemon water this morning, right? Cool. I'm going to start with a lemon water and reading 2 pages of a book or whatever, 2 chapters of a book. Cool. I'm going to, if I start doing it that way, for me, it's a lot easier to get to the end result. And I think there's a lot of people out there that would agree with me on that one. I want to ask you something about the book, or just a few things, maybe more than a few things. So you chose to add, this was interesting to me. You chose to add some people's stories. and you called them, my good morning stories. And there's there's quite a few throughout the book, from people, like Pat Flynn, Ryan Holiday, Skinny Confidential, Lauren Bostic. I think Katie Kirk's in the book. Yeah, Katie Kirk's in the book too. So like you've got all these really interesting folks that gave you their morning routines.
It's an eclectic mix.
Yeah. But they're not all like, some of them are like, that ain't a morning routine. That sounds exactly like what I'm preaching against. What was your, I don't want to say if it's a creative direction, but like why did you want to add that in the book? For like, what was the purpose behind it?
I really appreciate you asking that, because I think they just drive home the point for the entire book that like, I'm giving you my testimonial of what would be a good idea for a good morning, good life, right? But that being said, there is not one clear path. There's a number of people in there who go straight for their phone in the morning. I'm vehemently against that. But here's the thing. If they're going after the life they want, they've made a career for themselves, or they've followed their passion, they're super pumped every day. They jump out of bed just so they can look at what emails they got. Maybe it's for whatever different reason that they're excited about. I mean, I can't be mad about that. There is a balance there at some point. They might look at it first thing in the morning because it's a new day. For Katie Couric, it's a new news cycle, right? But she might put it away in the evening. And so it's all about what is right for that person. And so I didn't want to strategically choose people to feature based on whether or not their routine was going to be good enough. It's not up to me. It's up to them, because it's their morning, it's their life. So for me, it was just, hey, I'm interested in you. You've done something that I can understand. I can respect it. I've come to know you. And so now I want you to share, what does your routine look like? A routine is a word because it's a thing. A routine is not just a word because we say, oh, this is a routine. It's not a routine until it's a routine. If you do this every single day, it's adding up on some level. So it's a matter of, what is that routine, so we can understand, based on what the end result is that we know about you, what that is ultimately adding up to be. So yeah, I definitely had a number of different choices in there for people to check out.
And you are a big proponent of affirmations, and I know that you spend your mornings oftentimes writing down your affirmations. And you mentioned yours or some of yours in the book, or some examples
Suggestions,
of them. Suggestions,
yeah.
Yes. Some people say affirmations don't always work.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest? And you do give a tip in the book, but what is the biggest thing you would say about affirmations, like as to why they're really important?
Here's the thing. Affirmations don't always work. It's the whole idea behind, if you shoot high, if you can fathom the potential of something really cool happening, if you allow your brain to get that big and wrap your mind around that, maybe it takes time to fully get there. But if you start to remind yourself of it every day, I do find that it makes me more inclined to get away from my scarcity mindset. I have a chronic issue with scarcity mindset. It's something I've had to overcome my entire life. And that being said,
explain scarcity mindset to people
yeah,
who don't really know what that is.
Yeah, I think when you, how can I explain this? I think when you have a scarcity mindset, you are more likely to grasp and explain in the negative than you are in the potential positive. So if you think, oh, well, I could never make that much money, or I could never charge that much for that thing. It's that scarcity mindset versus, what if I charged that much? What if we brought in that much revenue next year? Well, it's sort of the opposite. So when you find yourself leaning toward a negative assumption of something, that's what I think the scarcity mindset is. I could never be a business owner. Nobody in my family has ever been a business owner. I could never graduate college. No one in my family has ever graduated college. That's that scarcity mindset. So if you find yourself being in a situation where that's a critical issue for you, and you're just realizing, I didn't know this my whole life that I needed to overcome it. I just figured it out one day and I was like, wow, that's not been the best way to live. Let's try something else. Affirmations for me are just an opportunity for me to remind myself of that every day, because it's hard to wake up on those terms. I do morning pages first thing in the morning, not because I'm writing down some beautiful philosophical verbiage. I'm clearing the cobwebs from my brain. I'm writing down the crappy dream I had, the grudge I'm holding from the night before, the fact that Lucy woke me up in the middle of the night, and the fact that my husband takes up the entire bed. That's what I'm writing in morning pages.
I'm not a big guy.
I love how that's your response to that. But so I do that. So that's helping to clear some of that and give me more open space for positive things. But then it's this encouragement with affirmations to actually zero in on the positive things and try to be super abundant first thing in the morning. So I'm in a better mindset immediately after that. So I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, well, this affirmation came true and this came true and this came true. But because of them, I've gotten exponentially closer to some of those things if I didn't hit them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for some people, the idea of just putting things out, it goes back to, I believe it's The Secret, that, like putting things out there is, and then you'll kind of like be attracted, those things will be attracted to your life. And I'm not sure I fully believe that to the extent to which that book goes into it. I do see the importance of affirmations, especially for being, more of a positive person. It's something I too have struggled with, trying to be more positive. Even just the words we use are so important. We're not so used to. I think it's easy to be negative. It's easy to, oh, but that can never be me. So I'm just curious about, your thoughts on the affirmations. I know you feel pretty strongly about them. I'll say one other thing I do love in the book is like the little quotes that you have in there.
Thanks.
And the shine tips.
Yeah, the shine tips are directly attached to, the shine chapter was my basically menu of services or choose your own adventure for what does it look like to choose the things you're going to do in the morning. If you feel you need suggestions, here are the different buckets to fill, and then here are the different options that I would suggest. There's a million other things you could do, and you'll probably figure out what they are quickly based on who you are and what you want to do. But then the shine tips are sort of like the actionable items behind each of the suggestions for how to really get started as quickly as you can.
Who would you say was the biggest inspiration for the book?
The AMYTV community. There's nobody else that inspires me as much as they do, because they're my sounding board. They are my board of directors. They are everything when it comes to me creating a product. Even if that product is a free video on YouTube, they're the entire part of the equation when I think about whether or not it's a good idea. The medium, the actual physical thing, how it's going to get distributed, how much it's going to cost. I'll use other people and mentors and examples to help me in that direction. But when it comes to solving a problem, there's only one group of people whose opinion I care about. And that's just, even if that's not the right answer, that's the God honest truth.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to read the book. I don't want to talk too much about specifics because I want them to actually buy the book and read it. But I think there are there's just so much in the book that is there for like brain food, just to think about, get you thinking.
Totally.
Finding your why and teaching your body to rise, and I know you're a big proponent of not having your phone, electronics. There's just things like that. Again, it's just the best part of the book is the fact that you do everything in this book. So
almost everything, yeah.
Right. So it's it is literally a case study in this type of morning. If people say, well, like, show me the numbers, well, like, okay, I live this life. Like, I literally live this life. This is what I do. So that's the proof.
That's
so
what I have.
You are proof of the concept of this good morning, good life. And so, yeah, I'm personally really excited to have people read it and start to see what action people take. It's a simple, there's 5 habits that you talk about in the book, and I think they're simple enough to get people, thinking. You also have a workbook, right? Coming out, a planner,
yes,
I think.
Yes, the planner is out. I'm so excited. It actually is out the same day as the book, which is just wild because we weren't sure. It was very touch and go there. Amazon was like not having it for a little while, and then suddenly, magically, it's there. So if you actually search for Good Morning, Good Life on Amazon, you will see potentially both results, the book and the planner, which is more of like a paperback workbook. But yeah, so that's fun because it can at least help guide you through whatever you decide that Good Morning Good Life looks like. It'll guide you through sort of that planning process, getting enough sleep, when do you wake up, when do you go to bed, that kind of thing, and planning the rest of your day. So you can find all of that on Amazon. And you can also go to goodmorninggoodlife.com. The book is officially available. It's all officially available except for audio. Audio is coming very soon, but you can get Kindle, paperback, and the planner today.
There you have it. Amy Landino, Good Morning, Good Life. 5 simple habits to master your mornings and upgrade your life. If you are someone that asks yourself, there's just not enough time in the day, or says that, this is probably a book for you.
Yes. And also 4 of your friends. It's the holidays.
Buy 5.
Buy 1 for you, 4 of your friends. Knock out the holiday gifts you got to get. And you know what? You can go on the Tim Ferriss show and answer the question that he asks, what book do you give the most as a gift? And your answer could be Good Morning, Good Life. Because no matter what they decide to do with it, they will be waking up on better terms because of you. So be that connector for them. And also big shout out to Vin, because if you're listening to this morning that the book is out, Vin is helping me put on a fabulous live stream on the YouTube channel. So maybe when you're done listening to this, you should just pop over to youtube.com/AMYTV. I will be live for 5 hours answering questions, giving away books and planners, and overall just celebrating the day. So thanks for helping me do that, Vin, because I don't know anything about live streaming.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so we're going to wrap up here, but hey, you can also listen to our secret podcast segment. We're going to do that over in Shine Squad at patreon.com/AMYTV. We are just going to do a little bit of rapid fire just for fun because Vin's never done the rapid fire. I don't think you've ever done Shine Squad secrets, have you?
Nope.
No, we've got to do that. But yes, again, you
Head
guys,
over there now.
Yes, please head over there. But more than that, it really, really, truly means the world to me that you have been along this journey for the entire book writing process. You've listened to me yammer on about it for a number of months now. I'm so glad it's finally here. I really appreciate your time and attention and potentially your eyeballs on this work. So go and check it out. Let me know what you think. I cannot wait to see your tweets and Instagrams and emails and all those things. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. If you would like to discover even more actionable details, you can head over to AMYTV by going to youtube.com/AMYTV or searching for AMYTV in your YouTube app. Subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life that you want. Cheers.